What's up? It's Chrissy, and today we're going to talk about jewelweed. Jewelweed is nature's natural remedy for poison ivy. Jewelweed is right here. We're going to get up close with it, but first I want to identify 4 major things to help you know how to look for it. 1, it likes shade. Shade. 2, it likes hills. There's a lot of sunshine coming in right now, but there's a hill. 3, it likes water. And we just had a major storm, so you can see branches everywhere, but it likes water. And we've got water. And I think there's a little froggy down there. I don't see him, but I hear him. So the 4th thing that jewelweed likes to grow near is actually poison ivy. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy kind of looks like it. It might even be. So anyway, yes, those are the 4 things to look for. Shade, hillsides, water, and if you know how to identify poison ivy, then jewelweed is usually close by. The other thing you can figure out is like in the late summer, fall time, they get these flowers. And you might start to recognize this now. A lot of people call these forget-me-nots. And you can almost like pop the little flower open. They say it looks like a little trumpet. This stuff grows everywhere. I'm going to post a map of where in the United States it's growing. And if anyone's wanting to know anywhere else in the world, then I will help you find it. So there's key traits. 1 is the leaves are they're serrated like this. The underside is light, and you can see the veins from the front and the back. There we go. I got a little more focus. Now these are more mature plants. They started in here in western Pennsylvania like early May. They start popping up, and I'm digging for them. I'm always looking for them. And then they die off like September. So in the early spring, the stem will be just bright green. And it'll kind of have like a powder. It almost has a powdery feel and look to it. Now as it's dying off like this, as it's getting more mature, the stem starts to turn brown. So you can almost see like there's brown, then there's green, there's brown, then there's green. This is very characteristic of it, and you know it's going to be dying off. What I do, like say, now how and what would you use this for? Anytime I get a bug bite, this is actually right down the driveway from my house, or my kids, if we get a bug bite, all we do is find the stem, and we split it open, and oh yeah, there's a bunch of this liquid in there. That's gonna just dry up your bug bite, like almost instantly. If you got a bug bite and just put this stuff on there right away, it's going to suck it up right away. If your bug bite's older, it might take a few tries, to get it completely gone. And if you just came in contact with poison ivy, then you would want to do the same thing. I do know some people that will just take the whole plant and start rubbing themselves down before they even go out in the woods, which is not a bad idea. Or to just rub the plant all over them. I like to split it open, and this is the good stuff. Poison ivy has like a very sticky oil on it, and that's what causes the poison ivy. It's irritating to the skin, and the sticky oil is hard to wash off. So that's why it actually, gets you so good. So this jewelweed dries it up. It dries up the oil. That's how it works. How it got its name, jewelweed, we just had a thunderstorm, so when the leaves get wet, Look how the water just kind of balls up on it, on the leaf. It looks kind of like little jewels. There's some more back here. I saw another one. Do you see that one? That's just beads of water. Just jewels. So that's its jewelweed. The stem is usually juicy all spring long, midsummer, but then once you get to like late summer, it starts to do this. It starts to dry up and get really hard. Earlier this year, I could have like just pushed this. It's hollow. I could have just cracked it and broke it. But now it's more difficult. And what I love though is at this late in the year to find the juice, if it's not near water, it's usually a bit more dry. The water here is keeping this stuff nice and juicy. But I go down straight for these big nodes. You can see the nodes along the stem. I'll try to crack those open and use that juice because I know the juice is kind of just like falling, and it's stuck in these nodes. So if you don't have a nice juicy plant, it can be found in the nodes. So this is one little patch. We're going to walk up just to show you others. There's some poison ivy actually growing right on this tree. We'll do another video another day for poison ivy to identify it. And then come around the tree and there's some jewelweed. So if you have poison ivy, you already have the rash, you're already at home and miserable, what I would do is pick about 6 of these plants and take them inside and just break them down into pieces. I'm going to fill up a pot full of water and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm going to add, well, I'll fill up the pot with water and put all the plant pieces, leaves, stems, everything right into that water. Let it simmer for about 20 minutes on low heat, and then I'll get a bowl, put it in the sink, and I just dump it all into the bowl. Oh no, I'll strain it. I'll strain it into the bowl, and the plant material will be in the strainer, and the bowl will now have like this yellow, oranges, like liquid juice, I call it. You can use that as the stuff to put on your poison ivy. Dip a paper towel into it, rub it all over the poison ivy, or someone had a good idea recently to put it in a spray bottle. That would just make it so much easier. But you have to keep that liquid in the fridge. If it's not in the refrigerator, it will go bad really fast. Once you pick these plants, they're going to start to go bad. Like they'll wilt within minutes of having it out. The more mature ones last a little bit longer, but especially if they're young, they're going to go bad really fast. But yeah, so the liquid, you could put it in a spray bottle, or you could just leave it in the fridge in that bowl, cover it, and keep it for about a week. And then it's going to start to go bad in about a week. So what I do is I dump it into ice cube trays, and then I just pull out an ice cube if I have a bug bite, or if someone has poison ivy, or like maybe any kind of skin fungus, or if you have anything in the wart family, you just rub it right on it. Now the ice cubes do evaporate. So what I just heard was that if you put them inside a Ziploc baggie, then that will keep them as ice cubes and not disappear. So this is jewelweed, guys. Loves these hillsides. Loves the shade. It's very invasive. It grows pretty quick. If you only have it in one small area in your yard, I would suggest trying not to pick it all, because it needs the seed from that little flower to keep it coming back every year. I learned that the hard way. I picked too much jewelweed, And then the next year there was like hardly any. So I had to be minimal the next year. And these little flowers, you can kind of like pop them. The seed pops out. And you can even eat the stem of the flower, this little tiny thing's sticking up. That's edible if you're ever in a survival situation. You can see this just grows the whole way up here. The whole way up. Now I am in the country, western Pennsylvania, but this is growing almost all over the United States. Just drive by any hillside, you'll see it, just kind of like a blur. Once you recognize it, you will see it. You'll be like, oh, it's everywhere. Oh, another thing too is the more mature a leaf itself is, seems to also change the color of the stem, leading it back to the main stem. Like, see how this leaf, we have smaller leaves on this plant here, but this one seems to be more mature. It's a little bit bigger than the others. And the stem leading it back to the main stem is more like a pinkish red. Now, let's look at a smaller leaf. It's green. It's still green. So that might be something to help you identify them too. And they pull out very easily from the ground. I'll just have to sacrifice one. I'm just going to give it the very lightest tug. And it just comes right out. Usually the whole entire root. The whole entire root just comes right out. This is pretty cool. This is like a little jewel. Jewelweed is a little jewel. So there you guys have it. That is jewelweed. If you have questions, ask them. And I will do my best to answer. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.